Pat Martin of Martin's Barbecue in Nashville. Thank you so much for being here at the James Beard House.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
So first of all, tell me a little bit about Martin's Barbecue and the barbecue scene in Nashville.
Nashville in and of itself is not garnered some big reputation like Memphis and some of the other spots have. But recently, over the past, close to 10 years, it has really started to at least come on with several really good joints down there. Barbecue I serve is West Tennessee style whole hog. That's my style.
It's your signature.
Which doesn't get, it's the smallest. It doesn't get quite the attention that the Carolinas get because it's a little bit smaller of a pocket of an, or an area that they do this.
And so why did you feel it was important to bring that type of barbecue to a larger city, to Nashville?
Well, I finished college in Nashville, and there was one or two places there that I enjoyed eating, but I had this dream of one day opening up a barbecue joint. I just kind of figured it'd be when I was 60 and I retired. I was going to do it for fun.
Right.
But it wasn't so much like I'm going to bring this here because I don't like what's happening, and it's just what I knew.
Right.
So,
and let's talk a little bit about your background, because you had a circuitous path to barbecue. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, Cliff Notes, I was born in Memphis. My family's from Northeast Mississippi. I went to high school there and all that. And but my grandfather was a farmer. Had farmed beans and milo and corn and everything else. But my dad, he did the Wall Street thing for a while, and I wanted to be like my dad. And so when I studied finance economics and took a job. My first real job was with Nations Bank, which is now Bank of America in Charlotte, and worked my way back to Nashville and got a divorce, and I remarried. And my wife, Martha, she was really pushing me that you need to, here I am in my mid-30s or early 30s, and she's like, this is what you love, the restaurant business, and you need to do this. And long story short, I took a stab at it. This little small town about 30 miles out of Nashville, and it was about 950 square feet, and put my house up for as collateral, and got a tiny little $65,000 loan, and seriously went to Home Depot and bought a How to Stud Walls book and started building the place out, and opened it up.
From there, how did you decide, this is the type of barbecue that I'm going to be cooking and I'm going to be known for? Is it just what you felt like this is what I grew up doing?
That wasn't the conscious decision. It was kind of like before. It's just that's the style I learned. So when I went to Henderson, that little pocket in West Tennessee was this whole hog little mecca, and I just was, there was literally not a night that I didn't go down to one of the barbecue joints and just hang out there for a while or peek my head in, or eventually helping those guys out, and then I started doing it on my own. So it's what I learned.
And what about the product? Obviously if you're cooking a whole hog, the sourcing is important, what you're putting on it is important. Being local but buying the best thing. Where do you source both the hog and then whatever you're putting on the hog as well?
So, right now we all hear about, all the food documentaries and GMOs and pesticides and heritage breed hogs and heirloom tomatoes and all that. And that is what we all need, we have to all commit to getting back to. The problem is that the economy of scales, they're so messed up that it's going to take a generational shift to get there. And what I mean by that is like, there's 3 big pork producers, and they have monopolized all these pork farmers. Chefs right now, or fine dining restaurants, are the only end users that can go and afford to pay $7 or $8 a pound for a raw material, protein.
Yeah.
Okay, to turn around get a barbecue. I'm getting $5.50 for a sandwich. I can't do that. So what I've done is that I still have to buy packer shoulders and all that stuff just like everybody else. My whole hogs though, Mike and the Fatback Pig Project, they have gone to some of these farmers and said, look, stop working with IBP.
Yeah.
And we'll give you an end user. Something else that's important is that it doesn't necessarily always have to be some heritage breed hog.
Right.
Most important thing that people should worry about is how the hog was raised, not whether it is
right breed.
Some Mangalitsa, you know, or if it's some just old standard China white. The thing is, did they sit in some dog kennel for their whole life?
Yeah.
Or were they actually able to kind of roam around and walk around in a pasture, and root, and, you know, have fun, basically. So
develop their body.
Right, exactly. At the end of the day, I'm in business, and I'm trying to find the most flavorful meat I can get at a price I can afford and sell at a fair price. You know, it's going to take 10 to 20 years for us to, as a society, turn this. You know, we're not turning a speedboat. This is a big old cruise ship.
Right.
And my hope is, and I think everybody's hope should be, is that our kids go to the grocery and there is no crappy packer beef or pork. Chefs, restaurateurs, pitmasters have to make a commitment that, man, when I have the opportunity and I can afford to do it, I'm going to buy a better cut.
You know, you're in Nashville, but you also do events. You're here at the Beard House. You come up to New York to the Big Apple Barbecue. Is it important to you, you know, as sort of barbecue grows in popularity across the country, to showcase your style and your sort of whole hog style rather than some of the other styles people are more familiar with?
People like us in the food industry have a responsibility to preserve are those regional differences, and they should be celebrated. You know, and I want mine to be celebrated, yes, but to me, barbecue is the national food of the United States. Yes, it was regional to the American South. I think Competition Barbecue's done a great job of being a vehicle to take it to areas like from Seattle to Maine, and now, you know, areas that didn't cook traditional barbecue love barbecue now. But when, you know, George Washington wrote in his journal, it's in the Library of Congress, of going to 2 whole hog barbecues. I mean, it's not, what other food do we as Americans have that we can claim as ours? I mean, France has their cheese. You drive 50 miles, the cheese changes. Dadgummit, we got our barbecue, and you drive 50 miles and it changes, and it's good. You know?
Wonderful. Well, I could talk to you all day, but thank you. I know you got to get back to cooking. Thank you so much, Pat, for joining us here at the Beard House.
Thanks. It's an honor. I appreciate it
really
very much.
Appreciate it.